Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host. And to my right and to your left, of course, as always, the lovely Valerie Eliason. Hi, Val.
Hi, Glenn.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. And we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN-TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. Give us a call, please. Great staff, BNN, are in the other room answering the phones. We'd love to have you join us and let us know what's going on artfully in your life, or just if you want to say,
hi.
What a great shirt that I have on today. I've got my autumn shirt
Very
going
festive
on.
of you.
Yes. How are you?
I'm great. I had such a fun weekend.
Yeah, you got around. What did you well, tell us, Val.
I will. I went to Block Island. It
Block
was
Island.
wonderful.
It's beautiful, huh?
Great time to go after Labor Day.
Yeah,
Population goes down by like 90%.
Yeah, it's then you kind of really get a chance to relax.
Yeah.
You know, I love going to these places down the Cape during the summer, but it's always bustle and hustle, and you get home and you're like worn
exhausted.
out. You know, it's better to get to these places and kind of be able to stretch out and not be in traffic and not fight for a place to park.
Exactly. We got scooters.
Nice.
We mopeded all over the place.
Wow.
It was really, had big lobsters for lunch.
Nice.
It was good. It was a really
Did you go
good
swimming?
day. No, I didn't bring my bathing suit.
Well, I understand that your parasailing is something that's on your agenda at some point.
Though it's getting a little cold, so I might have to put it off until
Not
next
bad.
summer.
Believe me, it's going to be really, really hot again for a little while. But today, I love this autumn weather coming down. I guess the calendar has really worked. It is autumn, bam, and it's kind of like started with this.
Exactly.
Saturday, I got to tell you, I got to congratulate the Rosendale Village Main Street Cats because they had an unbelievable backyard stomp.
Oh.
It was a fundraiser for the farmers market, which I see you at all the time, which I am the sound engineer at, and getting the music and all the sound together for all of the great entertainment that we have. We had Miriam play at the farmers market this past year.
She was great.
They're fabulous, aren't
they? Gorgeous voice.
I really enjoy it. It's usually a bigger band. There's usually two women up front. One's playing the guitar and they sing together. But I like the pared down because I love Kara's voice. It's Kali's voice. It's beautiful, and but it was nice to see them too. But congratulations on a great backyard stomp. Backyard stomp is where you invite all these people into someone's backyard. You have a live band, and you have food, and you charge them a couple of cents to get in, and you raise some money.
That's awesome.
So farmers market is going to be, I guess, another month and a half.
I'm dreading it.
So all your chances to get down to see us. We're going to be having music through October. But then we slow it down because it gets too cold to play.
Yeah.
I used to traditionally play the last farmers market, but my compadres say, Glenn, I'm not coming out there if it's 30 degrees and playing anymore.
Your fingers are too cold to play.
Poor Andy had gloves on with fingerless, and he's out there trying to play. I said, no, I won't do that to them again.
No.
It's
icicles forming on their
yes.
beards.
And it's not good for the instruments, you know.
No, that's true. The flux in temperature.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So what's new and exciting? What else is new besides Block Island?
Oh, geez.
Did you volunteer at something?
Yes. So there was this great sort of tag sale, yard sale over in the South End area. Right off of Berkeley and Tremont. So a lot of different families and homes in the area. I went down there with the BCA and we set up a little booth and we were making windsocks with the kids.
That's cool.
So kids were coming over and we were attaching streamers and just promoting the BCA. It was really fun.
Did you like working with the kids?
Yes.
Because that's a special feeling when you got the kids working with you and you get a little smile and laugh out of them for something. It's always kind of cute.
It definitely is. They're great. It was such a beautiful day. Found some good treasures.
Good.
I love flea marketing.
Was it mainly a flea market? I mean,
it was.
It wasn't associated with Sower or any of those guys.
No, similar, but mainly a flea market.
Yeah. Because one of the things that I've enjoyed down there is that whole
spread of
art galleries and stuff. And then they have this big, huge building where they do have that kind of yard sale, but high end.
It's like a vintage wonderland.
Yes,
I love it.
That's one of the things I really noticed and liked about it. That was really, really neat.
Absolutely.
Shout out to my good buddy Andy Hollinger. He's going to be coming home soon.
How's his injury?
He had an operation, as most of you out there know. He had fallen and broken his ankle at a gig, and they put in. He was
Stitched
sitting
him
right
back
here.
up
He's sitting
and-
right here having. We were interviewing him because he was the chair of Porch Fest, but 12 screws in his ankle and a plate. I went and watched the football game with him yesterday. We had a pleasant pizza. Nice. Some cold, tall ginger ales, of course. Watched the Patriots. It was fun, but he's coming home Tuesday, we hope.
Good.
And that's good news for Andy. It's been a run. But he's aching to get at his guitars. That's the thing.
I bet.
You know, and I've got some unfinished projects, if you're watching, Drew, that need guitar work. We got to get you out there and get you working on it.
Is it hard to play the guitar with your, I imagine, right? I don't know.
No, you just sit there, prop him up, prop it up, a couple of pillows, he should be fine.
Yeah.
But it's going to be good to get him home and
Okay.
on the mend. So he's well on his way, because I know people have asked me all over any event that I go to or any event I'm playing or anything like that. They all ask, how's Andy? So I thought I'd let everybody know that he's on the mend. He's going to be with us very soon.
Nice.
So what else is going on? Do you have anything coming up in the future that you need to...
Oh, geez, there's a lot of really awesome things coming up in Boston this fall. Particularly one of them I'll talk about in my Val's View.
Yeah.
But it'll be the second year that Boston's been hosting it, the Illuminance Festival.
Yeah.
So it's last year it was over by SOA. This year it's on Lansdowne Street. So really excited about that.
That's very cool. Will you be attending?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep, definitely attending.
We'll get Dave out there with you or something, get
That's
some
a good
footage.
idea,
You know, we'll try and get some cameras out and about and get some footage that we can use here at It's All About Arts.
It's such a great use of, I mean, you think of art exhibits as, you know, you have a space and you have the art up on the wall, and they just use the sides of buildings, the sidewalks, the streets, and it's just these light images projected and
That's great.
moving all over. It's great.
Yeah, I know the Canvas Fine Arts is involved up to the eyeballs in some of that stuff too, you know. So I remember a year where I was running around with a couple of people, and Suzanne was off in another event. Fashion Week, was it Fashion Week we did, Suzanne? Yeah, that was amazing. And they had me running around from shop to shop. It was a lot of fun.
You ran the runway?
I did. They kept me off of the runway. I offered, but they said, not the right body type. So they got nothing to fit you, bub. So I didn't, you know. But I did get to interview some incredible people out online, out on the street. So we're gonna regenerate some of that stuff
that's
this fall,
awesome.
because there's gonna be so many great things going on to happen, you know. So I think that's important.
Yeah.
Another cool thing that's happened is my school has joined BNN-TV as members, and we're going to be producing. They're going to be producing the kids. I am just the faculty advisor, but the kids will be producing in our television studio at Sacred Heart School in Rosendale, programming. I think it's going to be twice a month. We're going to be putting programming on BNN channel.
That's incredible.
23.
They must be thrilled.
Yeah, they're very excited about it, and thanks to the generosity of many people around Massachusetts that have donated, you know, equipment to Sacred Heart School to help us get these kids started in some audiovisual practices and stuff. We've got 3 beautiful digital cameras, we've got switcher, we've got all kinds of monitors and mics and a set, so we're ready to fly, we're ready to go with it. So
You guys have ideas already brainstorming?
the kids are already talking about what they
I
want
bet.
to do. You know, I think they want to do some program that's religious intent, with some religious stuff behind it. They also want to do some stuff about kids and what they have to go through these days and what's going on in their lives. So we're going to be very busy over there, and that's good, because I don't know if you guys know, I've left the Boys and Girls Club. I worked there for many years, and I was very happy with my affiliation with them. It was a great experience working with kids in the inner city, and I'm proud of the work that we did with the Boys and Girls Club. It was great to have Joshua Kraft sitting here on set with us
yes.
to talk about the Boys and Girls Club and their mission, and to
That was wonderful having him
it
here.
was great having him in the building. But now I'm putting all of my energies, more of my energies at Sacred Heart. So we're gonna start producing some programming.
Oh, I look forward to it.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to see it.
One of the things we have to do is I'd like to talk a couple of seconds, please, about the people who support us here at BNN. We're very, very fortunate and happy about our affiliation with Boston Main Streets. Boston Main Streets is that volunteer-driven organization that helps revitalize sections of the city. They've been at it for about 30 years, and way back, 30 years ago, when then City Councilor Tom Menino was the district city councilor from our area. This is long before he became the mayor, or long before his lovely wife allowed him to run for mayor. Sorry, Angela, I just had to say that. But it's fun because what they did was he brought this untried program to Rosendale to help revitalize its business district. I grew up in Rosendale, and there was a time when there was this great, vibrant business district. They had all kinds of different mom and pop stores. There was a Park Snows. There was two great supermarkets having price wars across the street from each other. Literally, your eggs are how much? Well, we'll change it. It was great. It was just this bustling business. Then a couple of things happened. One of the things that happened was the desegregation of our schools happened, and busing happened, and our community had some very difficult times. There were people that moved out of Rosendale. There were people. There was some damage done to some of the businesses. Some of the businesses didn't reopen, so they ended up with all of these empty storefronts. A lot of people moved out of Rosendale, and it stayed that way for about 10 years. 10, 12 years, and it was just not any place you'd go. So you can imagine that all of these houses had all of these grates, and they had all of this plight and drugs, and it was a tough area of town. In comes this Main Street program, and the object of the game for Main Streets was, let's get these grates off the front of these buildings. Let's get these buildings filled with businesses that the people in the community want. So they have an economic development group who works with the property owners, the person who lives who knows where, who has this storefront in a building that they never see, and talk to them and work with them to get the right kind of business that's going to fit into that community.
Now, those grates aren't exactly the most welcoming and
They're
inviting.
not welcoming at all. And the way they got rid of the grates was there was a design committee full of architects and designers, professional, all volunteers. I haven't mentioned anybody that's getting paid for what they're doing. And what they would do is they would work with the new business once it's in there, and work with them on the design of their storefront, the design of their signs, and all that, and to help them get these type of design, because they'd also work with historic preservation.
Oh, yeah.
So they'd want them to keep a historic feel of what Rosendale was like in the 40s.
Which they did an amazing job of.
Yes, they did. So what they did is they said, we'll pay for half of the cost of renovating the storefront. The stipulation is the grate's got to go.
Yep.
And of course, it's really hard if you think about it. You're a mom and pop store, you're sinking everything that you have into this one business venture, and you feel you've got to protect it. One at a time. Someone said, okay, and lo and behold, no one came and burnt their building down, no one came and broke in and stole their goods, so it started to grow. And we're proud to say now that Rosendale is a destination.
Oh, absolutely. It's
It is
thriving.
someplace where people come from outside the community to come and hang out. And that's what the promotions committee does. They run all these events, these backyard stomps. There's a Taste of Rosendale coming up in a few weeks where there's going to be all of the restaurants will be able to come and show their wares, and everybody comes in. And so
a big parade, I hear.
There's a big parade coming through Rosendale. I think we'll probably end up with a battle on which parade is bigger when our guest comes up and joins us. I'm prepared.
All right.
Prepared with facts. All right, Dolly, I just want to throw that out there. So what ends up happening is they bring people down to see the community and to see what's happening, and people end up learning more about their business district. And 30 years ago, this past summer was when it started, and now it's this incredible thing, and it's been supporting this program as an organization, Boston Main Street. So we want to thank them for everything that they do for us. We're very, very proud of our affiliation. So if you see someone with a Main Street t-shirt, they're a volunteer. And the only reason they're doing it is because they love their community.
I love seeing their
just like you do.
I love seeing their booth at the farmers market.
Yeah, it's
I always
always
get so
fun.
excited.
It's bustling, isn't it?
Oh, it always is. Yeah.
The other thing we have to mention, of course, is this incredible building that we're in here at 3025 Washington Street, Eggleston Square. This is the old transportation building, which is the power station for the Orange Line, for all you cats that go back and remember the Rattler. This is the power. They got the power here. This is a big generator building. And we've moved in here. But what it is now is it's cable access television, Boston Cable, which is one of the best run and best developed ones in the country. Boston Main Street, BNN, Boston Neighborhood Network, has been recognized as one of the finest cable access stations in the country. There's 2 stations. Channel 9, which you're watching right now, of course, has the news and information. Mm-hmm. So you get to bring your nonprofit in here and talk about the status of your mission statement, bring guests in and talk about what you're doing, and it's a great place. People call in and have conversations.
Yep.
Then there's the other side, which is the second station, which is Channel 23. Channel 23 is when you become a member. You can come in, join, and do your own programming. Take all these great Final Cut Pro classes and learn how to use the cameras and all that stuff. And listen, should we take a couple of seconds and switch over to the other station for a second to see what they're doing over there? Well, no, they're in commercial? Okay, never mind. They're in commercial breaks. We're not going to go over to that right now. But but this is the place where you can come and do television programming, where you can learn how it's done. And the way you do that is you go to www.BNN-TV.org. Mm-hmm. Click on Janice Williams or Jim Atwood's name, and they'll give you all the ins and outs on how to get involved here at BNN-TV. You know what else is really cool there is if you go there and to www.BNN-TV.org and click on what's playing now.
It's us.
It's us. They're streaming this live, so we have to say hello in Paris. It's just a little after midnight in Paris, but for all of you who are tuning in, thank you very much for doing that. And that's half a joke, but I got to tell you, we get some letters from.
It's true.
We get
all
Washington,
over.
Seattle, Washington. We get
Florida, Texas.
We get some people that watch this program, and it's because people come on and they told their friends, "Hey, we're going to be on TV, stream it here," and we've kind of developed a little bit of a following.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was great.
Did I get it all in?
I think you did.
Okay, good. Good. That's an important part of the program, I think, because I think people need to know exactly, how and why we're doing the things that we're doing here.
There's a lot of great stuff here.
Yeah, there's some great programming. Now you're going to do a Val's View from right here.
I am.
Are we taking a break first, or are we going to want to go right into it?
How about we do it towards the end of the show?
Oh, well, we can do that. That's fine.
We'll end on a what to do in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, we can end on a Val's View. That's great. One of the other 2 things I have to remind you is this show will be sometime either tonight or tomorrow. Will be on our YouTube station. So you can go to your YouTube station and put in It's All About Arts and the number 1. And what that'll do is you'll be able to see all of these fine shows. Hopefully this one will be up. We had some technical difficulties for a little while. We couldn't get it to work the way we wanted to. So instead of putting it up, we waited till some of the bugs were worked out, but now it's working just fine. So go there, and please go to our Facebook page.
Like us,
because we're coming up close to...
We're like 4 likes away from 500.
Yeah, we're very, very close to 500, so be that 500th one.
Yep.
Okay? Listen, we're going to take a little break. We're going to be back in just a couple of minutes. There's a fabulous book that's out, and it's about this. It's a novel of Boston. It's a story of this amazing city that we live in. It's called The Red Coat, and we are so fortunate to have the author, Dolley Carlson, right here in the studio with us. She's going to join us in just a couple of minutes. So listen, gang, we're going to listen to a song or 2. We're going to listen to something from Low Budget Records. Vault. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. You're watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts. My name's Glenn. This is...
Val.
We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away. Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. Listen, you are watching BNN-TV's It's All About Arts, and you can see this show later on, later tonight or tomorrow when we get it up on our YouTube station, which is called It's All About Arts and the number 1. You can go there and check out this show this evening or any of our past shows. And also, please go and like our Facebook page, please, because it's really, really cool. And Val does such a great job on it. But right now, we have got the author of this fantastic book, The Red Coat, which is a novel of Boston. And we are so proud to have her with us. Please say hello, everybody, to Dolley Carlson. Hello, how are you?
I am just delighted to be here.
Thanks
Thank you
for coming
inviting me.
We're so delighted to have you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Of course.
Thank you.
This book has taken off. This was when was it published? When was it released?
It was published in November.
In November, and already there are people all over the country reading it.
Yeah.
And I think it very goes right to your writing style and how you've been writing and what have you. Tell us a little bit about, without giving the punchline away.
Okay.
Which is, of course, the red coat, right? This is about a section of the city of Boston, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
It's about a couple of sections.
Yeah,
of the
tell
city
us a little bit
of
about the red
Boston.
coat, please, Dolly.
Well, one way to describe it is to say, think Downton Abbey,
Okay,
but set in the heart of Boston
okay,
in the 1940s and 50s.
okay.
And it's two families, a Beacon Hill Brahmin family, the Parkers,
Very nice.
Very nice. And on Mount Vernon. And then we have the King family of South Boston. And they live in the middle floor apartment of a 3-decker. And they have 9 children.
Okay.
And Nora, the mother, is the one that everybody falls in love with.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Nora is a dear. And then there's the red coat. And Mrs. Parker of Beacon Hill is giving the coat away to the poor. And Nora is scrubbing the floors of Mrs. Parker's mansion when she sees his coat just placed on a pile of clothing to be given away for donation.
You call this, it's a novel, but is it from personal experience of what living in Southie might have been like, or living on Beacon Hill might have been like, or living in Boston might have been like?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
it is Boston.
You're a Bostonian.
I am.
Yeah.
True and true.
True and true. Where in Boston did you live?
My family lived in South Boston. I wasn't born down on A Street.
Well, you were raised up on the...
My family lived in the old Colony Housing Project.
Oh, it's long gone.
Yeah, I was a little
my.
girl. My father was on the Boston Police Department. We lived in a 2nd floor apartment, and then my father would come home from his day beat on Beacon Hill.
Yeah.
And my mother would go out the door to her waitress job at Steuben's downtown.
Oh, that's great. What if? So you're a real Bostonian. Where'd you go to school?
And I went to St. Augustine's.
St. Augustine's.
Yep.
Cool.
St. Augustine's.
No.
You put so much, I mean, just talking to you beforehand about the book, you put so much heart and soul and research. I mean, this book is so historically accurate. What was some of the research process that you went through? Or
Well, I want to put my arms around the city of Boston. I never, always, but even more so, I never knocked on a door or made a phone call that people didn't give me more than I ever asked for.
oh, that's wonderful.
I needed to know the price of a cup of chowder in 1941.
Someone had the answer, didn't
And I called Kelly's, but I was on the West Coast when I called Kelly's, and the lady who answered the phone said, "You know, it's the dinner hour here. You might want to call back."
The line is down to the beach. Get out of here.
But Dick Kelly called me back 5 minutes later, and when he knew I was from Southie, he said, "I can do better than tell you the price. I have a menu from the 40s in the cellar."
No kidding.
It's yours.
Oh, see?
I went to churches, and they opened these enormous ledgers to show me different things. It just went. Margaret Sullivan, a Boston Police Department archivist. It just was extraordinary. And if any of your viewers want to know about their heritage, particularly Irish heritage, go to Marie Daly on the 2nd floor of the New England Genealogical Society.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're a great organization, I think.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Yeah, they have everything.
They're extraordinary.
Yeah. So like Val said, you did a lot of research
I did.
and kind of really dug and gone. You wanted it to be historically accurate.
Absolutely. Boston is a known city. And I knew that if one thing was not correct, I would lose my reader.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If someone was looking and the clam chowder was off by 40 cents, they might have said, she doesn't know what she's talking
You
about.
know that there's a lady in Southie that would know that, right?
Of course.
And she would email me and say,
Of course.
"What is this girl talking about?"
You don't know what you're talking about.
Bostonians are nothing if they're not proud of their heritage.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the home of my heart.
Yeah. How long did it take to write?
It took me 7 years.
7
to write
years
the
to
book.
work.
460 pages, and there are sidebars.
Both sides?
Yeah, both sides. Yeah, only one print,
Right.
one blank.
8 font. Yikes.
14 font will get you a lot of pages.
That'll get you a lot of pages. Why? I know it's because I know you love Boston, and I know that you wanted to share with it. But what clicked that first time when you said, I'm writing the red book, the red coat?
You're an artist,
Yeah.
Glenn. It was in me.
Was it?
It was in me, and it needed to come out.
Okay.
And it's a love story, really. My editor said to me, "It is so evident how much you love Boston in this book, and you love family, and you love resolution." And it just had to come out. I had to do it. During the course of writing this book, I'm I'm a speaker. I traveled around the country speaking, so I'd have to put it down and then come back to the writing. And my husband had cancer, but that was completely on hold. But the characters, I'm telling you, they were walking around in my home office. They're like, "And where do you think you're going?" And leaving us in this stuffy office. You
We're not
crack
done.
a window before you go to the hospital to see himself.
You're not done with us yet, right?
Yeah, and then I'll tell you something. I don't know. I'll just tell you.
Anything,
It's my family. It's inspired by my family.
Yeah.
And I lost my mother when I was 17. The minute I started writing this book, pennies appeared everywhere.
See,
Everywhere.
I know that.
It was a kiss.
Yes, I know exactly what those are. That's
Yeah, It
amazing.
was wonderful.
So you didn't do this alone.
I didn't what?
You didn't do this alone.
I did not do that alone.
That's
The
great.
ancestors were with
They
me.
were with you the whole way.
The whole way.
Southie is this tight, not only physically, because of the rows of houses and stuff, probably not as much as it was years ago.
Yeah.
The interaction between families and people is very, very personal
Yes, it
in
is.
South Boston. You're back.
I'm back.
You're coming through. You're seeing it in a different eye now.
I am.
Has it changed? How much has it changed?
Well, there's a gentrification of Southie,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
and that has changed. But Southie is Southie.
Do you feel it? Do
I
you feel it at
feel
the
it.
end of Farragut when you're standing on there at Carson Beach? Do you feel
I
it?
feel it. I walk along Carson Beach,
Yeah.
and it's 1953, and I'm with my mother and father and my sister and brother. I just see them, you know. That spirit is still there, you know. Or even with research, you know, it was just like people were just so wonderful, and that's the Southie way, and they look after each other, you know.
Yes. You know where I see that is up by St. Brendan's.
Yeah.
That whole section in there where the playground is and that whole area there. I've gone over to some classes over there for Catholic Schools Foundation and stuff. I've been doing some stuff with them. And I'd sit there and I'd be having lunch out in the park and I'd say, this is still Southie here.
It is.
No
This-
matter how many condos you put up,
Right.
it's still
This,
going to be.
even around there, though, you can still see you're kind of hidden in there a little bit. Is the old Southie shrinking? Because when you get off the train at Broadway, you don't recognize it.
No, you don't. You don't recognize it from the old days.
When you're coming over the hill, over the bridge, it doesn't look like Southie. Not
No.
the Southie I remember.
Not the Southie any of us remember, but the spirit is still there.
Right.
You know, the spirit of Southie is still there. And you know, I mean, I think my mother's family, they lived in the middle floor
Yeah.
of a 3-decker, and they had 9 children.
Right.
Well, now that's
Oh,
a
wait a
luxury,
minute.
That's
But
a
that's
luxury
kind-
condo.
That sounds familiar.
That sounds familiar.
They
That's-
inspired. No, it's fiction based on fact,
Yeah.
and it's more fiction than fact. But the real fact is, you know, that culture. That's like, for instance, we see in the book that a young girl is getting married. Where will the wedding gown come from?
Oh, yeah.
She knows that she can buy it on time, but she goes to the Catherine Gibbs School and she's an accounting major, and she doesn't want to start her married life in debt. So she just thinks there must be a way. Well, the neighbors in South Boston hear that the King girl's getting married. Well, doesn't somebody know somebody who knows a girl who just got married, and God willing, she'll never need the dress again?
Hopefully.
You know? And so we see that and how they just pull together for that. Or, you know, then you see an Irish wake, and I did a tremendous amount of research to be sure that would be right. And, you know, people were laid out in their living rooms.
Yes.
And this was, you know, as late as the 50s even, you know, the early 50s. And whether you knew that person or not, you stopped by the house because there would be a wreath with a black ribbon. And because
you'd
you were
know
a
there was
community,
somebody, yep, yep.
you went in there to pay respects. And, you know,
Well, you know, I think that you can't, there's going to be parts of South Boston that you can't get, I don't want to say get rid of, because I think that there are developers and stuff that are coming in and seeing how much value they can get out of knocking down A Street or West 2nd or doing whatever they feel they need to
church.
do. You know, right, the church, well, it's gone from that whole area. But Mulls and Amarines are still there.
Thank
can't- you
heaven.
can't get rid
You
of
want to get a
Mull's.
good breakfast, go to Mull's, you know?
But it's things like your book and people like you that keep that spirit alive and
Exactly.
keep South Boston still here.
Thank you, Valerie. You know, the intent of the book was to honor Southie, you know, and just honor the people, honor the work ethic, honor the community, you know, honor what took place there. All these immigrants coming in, and it was an immigration of trauma. They didn't come because, oh, I want to go to America. They left hungry.
They had to
and
leave, huh?
They
And
had to
yes.
leave. And so they banded together and they took care of each other. And what, you know, you hear that expression, one of our own.
One of our
It's
own.
one of our
Yeah,
own.
yeah.
And you just take care of each other. And I think that's a wonderful, maybe not to be exclusive, but still a wonderful model of community. You know, you're both so involved in community. And look what's happened in Rosendale
Yeah.
because of that.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Because you care and community has drawn together.
Well, we took our lead from a couple of the other communities around Boston.
And
I
maybe
guarantee you
Southie
that.
helped you out there.
We saw how strong it can be over there, you know. So, let's talk for a couple of minutes about writing. I mean, I know that you know it's when you're writing about something that is so personal and you love so much.
Yeah.
Do you write longhand? Do you sit at a computer? Do you talk into a microphone? How do you do it? Do you write in longhand?
Well, I don't write in a coffee shop or at Starbucks. I couldn't do it. I'd be
Really?
too distracted.
Okay, so your atmosphere has to be.
It has to be a certain way. I have
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a certain little routine I do. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
sort of this sort of holy thing, getting everything in
The
order.
reason I ask is because
Yeah.
there's a lot of students that watch this show.
Oh.
You know, so we have a lot of kids. These guys here, these guys behind the camera, they're all from Northeastern University. You know, they're all writing in college level writing and what have you. So, how the fact that you set your atmosphere and it's not just
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything now. I'm going to write. You know.
No, yeah, and life will beckon you away from the work.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Life
always
happens.
one more thing. The hardest thing to do is to sit in that chair. But once you sit down, just commit to it. And my process is, it just sort of, that first draft, I just let it go. You know, just have an idea and just let it go on the screen. But then when it comes to dialogue, and there's a lot of dialogue in this book, I speak out loud. You know, and then when the characters are moving, I'll do what they're doing. You know, so that once again,
Put
just
yourself
put
in the
myself
book.
in that book, and like, you know, how did she sit down, or what? How did they? And so I just do it, and it helps me, you know,
Right,
to make
right.
it come to life.
You mentioned something about the book that I think is so unique and creative. Each individual character has their own font.
They do.
That's incredible, and that's such I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in a book before. But if it brings a personality to each character that you wouldn't think to give them a personality in that way.
Oh, it was really fun. Like Mrs. Parker of Beacon Hill has such a lovely hand. You know, when
course.
you see the things that she's written, and then there's a bad guy. And when you look at the letter that
You
he
know.
writes, you know this is not a nice person. You know?
But you know what else is also interesting in the book is you have author's notes. You have
Yes, I
like
do.
liner notes in the column
Yeah.
where you know you'll be reading about something and and then all of a sudden maybe there's a little explanation. Oh, by the way, let me explain a little bit about why I said Mull's is the best. You
It
know.
was intended to create an intimacy with the reader. You know, first of all, that anyone even reads a page that I've written is just such a blessing. You know.
You
And
tell
then-
a great story about down in Florida.
Oh my word!
That is a great. Come on, tell us that. That's really cool.
Mona Connolly Casper, who is the president of the South Boston Irish American Society, told me this today. And she said she surprised her mother-in-law by going to Florida. And she says her mother-in-law is a snowbird from Southie, and she
Yeah.
goes with all of her friends. And so Mona was going to surprise her, and so she understood that she was out by the pool at this hotel. And so she said she went out by the pool. She said all those ladies were reading the same book. And she said, she looked and she said,
The red
"What's
coat."
the red coat?" So I couldn't believe it.
Well, no, that's fabulous.
It was wonderful. And those side notes are meant to create an intimacy, like to say, "Valerie, come here.
Yeah.
I want to tell you something more about the people on this page, you know, or
And people appreciate that.
about the place on this page,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
A further explanation.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you going to be signing any of these around?
I am honored to be signing it.
Yeah, I know exactly how you feel.
I just can't believe this
I
is
know
happening.
exactly how you feel. Because I had a small CD that did something, and all of a sudden I had to do a couple of things that I'm not used to, and I'm going, I can't believe this is happening.
I know. They're like, oh, will you sign my book, please? And I'm thinking, oh, let me find that person. Oh, no, that's me. Of course I will. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be signing at Blackstone's on Charles Street in town. On Beacon Hill, and just an aside, my father, BPD, out of World War II into the academy, his beat was Charles Street.
Yeah,
He was
beautiful.
a young man. First book signing was there, and I knew my father, who's long gone, was with me.
Oh, sure.
And
More
then-
pennies.
Yeah, and pennies, more pennies. And I'm a Celt, what can I say? This is how we think, this is my heart. And then we have Blackstone's Reflection Store on Newberry, and that's at 223 Newberry, 46 Charles Street. And then we have the Design Center, and that's going to be really neat. And that'll be on Thursday. So Blackstone's Charles Street on Wednesday. I have a website with the schedule.
I think we should put
I'm
that
a woman
up.
of a
Yeah,
certain
I think-
age. And I'm
I think we'll put that up so
Thank
people
you.
can go to that. If you go to It's All About Art, you'll be able to see the website there. You click on your name, actually, and it's going to go right to your website.
Fabulous, which
You
is
know,
the
so-
redcoatboston.com.
Yeah, that's pretty simple. I recognize this artist on the cover of this book.
You couldn't have
There's
picked
your-
a
there's your
more
website
perfect
right there.
artist for,
Thank you. I
for that
agree.
book.
Old friend Dan, this is incredible. Dan Nichols, our old friend, has done the artwork on this.
I couldn't ask for a better cover, and I have to tell you, this man had the patience of Job.
I'm just seeing the policeman on the bridge.
Yeah,
Is that Dad?
yeah,
I'll bet it is.
it is.
That's great.
Yeah. And Mr. McColl did that, and he, and in the book, there's I won't tell you what it is, but there is a feature on the red coat that is very, very important in identifying the red coat.
Well, don't tell us what it is.
And Dan was so patient with this painting, and my husband said, don't have him paint that detail in. He's done so much. And I said, honey, it's imperative. And so then at the very first book club that invited me, the very first comment this woman said, and I love how you have that detail in the painting. So Dan was amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a good friend of yours.
He's
and you
very,
know him,
yeah, we're
Valerie.
very
Yes,
fond
he's
of,
wonderful,
he's
yeah.
done some great stuff, and he's been on this show, jeez.
I call him old school gentleman.
He is an old school
He's a
gentleman.
true
He most
Bostonian.
certainly is. Is this a one-time thing for you?
No.
What
The
do you think?
sequel is
What are you thinking? And I know.
knocking on my
I mean,
heart.
you talk about 40s and 50s, but the,
Yeah.
the 60s and 70s were amazing things happening in that community too.
And by God's grace, people have been asking for the sequel.
Yeah.
And when is it coming out? And I needed a little break.
Oh, no, please. I understand.
I'm
7
ready.
years.
I'm teetered on it.
Are you getting ready?
I am getting
you
ready.
gearing
yeah.
up for it?
I'm gearing up for it, Glenn.
Did you learn anything from doing this one that's going to maybe make it not a 7-year adventure?
Absolutely. Yeah, I learned a great
Do you
deal.
learn? You learn from
You
what?
learn from the process. And your characters speak to you.
Yeah.
They tell you when it's enough, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's no question. Publishing a book like this in a day and age like we're in, we don't get. A lot of authors don't get the luxury of putting Dan on the cover,
That's right.
or putting those liner notes, or using the font they want.
That's right.
You did this yourself.
I did.
Yes.
I
Tell
did.
me a bit about that process.
I
We've
am,
got a couple of minutes left. I just
I'm
want.
published traditionally 4 times.
Uh-huh.
This was nonfiction, and this is my first novel. And I had a lot of people say to me, those side notes, you know, I don't know about those sidebars. And then I told you my husband was ill, and then those query letters. You know, I have an agent for nonfiction, but not for fiction. So I needed a new agent, and then I just thought, this just has to happen. So
Got to get it out.
got to get it out there exactly, and you know, and here it is.
You got to be true to yourself.
And people have responded to those sidebars like I can't even tell you.
Yeah, what are they? It astounds me sometimes when people who are supposed to be in the know and have all this. Well, you know, these sidebars, they're going to interfere with the flow of the book. They're one of the biggest things.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
They really bring the reader into the know.
Dolly, I want to thank you so much for being here.
I want to thank you.
It's great talking.
Thank you.
so much.
Don't go away.
Okay.
Okay, because you want to talk through your Val's views, or
Yeah.
what's going on
I
with
can
that?
stay here
Yeah,
with you. with your Val's
absolutely.
views.
I got
Thank you.
my Bell's views in my pocket. Let me get my Bell's views out.
This is a great part of the show. We usually put her up against the green screen there. She thinks that we're putting cool things behind her, but every
Yeah.
now and then we'll.
What do you put behind
They're
it?
really
Bat comes
staged.
flying through.
Putting the rabbit ears up behind
No,
me.
they really do that?
No, they don't.
What did you do to me?
You'll have to look at the show to find out.
Yep. All right, so I have 3 things coming up in the city of Boston. So first off, what I was mentioning before, the Illuminance Festival. Now that's going on the weekend of October 3rd and 4th in the evening. Obviously, you can't have an Illuminance Festival during the day. So it's going down on Lansdowne Street in the Fenway area. So Illuminance Festival is a nighttime contemporary art event that features installations and performances by artists that manipulate light, sound, and projection to create an immersive, multi-sensory, spectacular evening of art. So the event is locally organized, it's outdoors, and it's free. So hopefully it's not too cold that night. This will be Boston's second Illuminance Festival, the first one being last year over in the SoWa area. And if it's anything like it was last year, it's going to be out of this world, so definitely go check it out. I know I'm going to go again this year. So second on our list, we have Pumpkin Festival. As you see, it's starting to get a little autumny. Glenn's even got his orange pumpkin-colored
pumpkin out, yeah.
shirt on. It's going on October 17th, all day at the Frog Pond at the Boston Common. So you can bring the entire family down. This is a kiddo-friendly family event. They're going to be having carved pumpkins floating in the frog pond. So you can even bring your own carved pumpkin, and the city will put a candle in it, illuminate it for you, and at the end of the festival, they actually take all the pumpkins and compost them to use them for the public gardens. So it's a great way to end a fun festival. So you can go down there with your kids, or go down there yourself, bring your pumpkin and float it in the frog pond. It'll be really fun. So now, third on our list, we have the Ulsan Village Street Fair. Now it's going on October 4th from noon to 6. And then this is a huge fair. It takes place right in the heart of Ulsan. Right there on Harvard Street, and it's a multicultural festival that features a rich diversity of the neighborhood, because anyone who's from the Boston area knows Ulsan Brighton has all sorts of groups in it, all sorts of people from different countries and college students and everything. So the event attracts more than 100,000 residents and attendees, and it provides a fusion of music, international food and interactive food, because you're eating it, family entertainment, and public street art. So the event proceeds benefit the Ulsan Brighton community as well as some of the local charities. So it's free. Definitely go check it out. There'll be lots of stuff to do. Try to take public transportation if you can, because parking is not going to be easy over there. So there's a lot of fun things going on in the next couple weeks. Hopefully you guys get to enjoy some of them.
Thank you, Valerie.
Yeah.
That was very, very nice. Once again, Dolly, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Good luck, and come back anytime. Let us know when you want to come back.
Thank you very much.
Just to catch up,
This is
because I'm sure we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Val.
Thank you, Glenn, as
It's always
always.
my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Listen, gang, thanks an awful lot for being here with us tonight. You've been watching It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn. This is Dolly. This is Val. Get out there and do something awful. Please review Val's view in the Boston paper, please. Make sure you check that out. And it's right in the first page. We have that whole page for what's going on artfully around the town. And part of that is Val's view, so you can check out that there. Like I like to say, please get out there and do something artful for yourself this week. But what we keep saying every week, and we want to make sure someday we don't have to say it, please keep in the forefront of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Get out there, do something artful for them, please. And we'll dig you next week, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, hey, bye-bye, guys. Thanks an
Bye.
awful
Good night.
lot.